Hello YouTube. Sorry I could not make any videos the last couple weeks. I think it's already had a lot of going on private and had some remodeling in the house. I couldn't work since I had to move my bench away and did get some new windows and new insulation and whatnot. I also want to give a shout out to Dave in Australia. Dave, I hope you feel better soon and that all your operations will go good, and hope you will be back on your feet very, very soon. And I'm looking forward to work with you on the VGauge and on the OBD2 version of it. I did some small changes on the VGauge, mainly on the codes. I did something pointy. I did edit the RPM gauge, so the numbers now match the fonts I have. This is my tiny altimeter code, not mine, but I edited it. So I changed the numbers there too, the letters, the numbers, not the letters. And on here I changed the letters also, and it also has now this is like the the brightness, the higher brightness on the neopixels, which you can see here. It's a high beam sign, and then you have the low beam sign. It's maybe probably hard to see on the video, but the lines go down for low beam, and again high for high beam and low for low beam. So that was that, and I added something back that I initially wanted and then for certain time did not want to include, but now I will do, and that is the multi-code on the center bottom display. So if you press in here and click the magic button on the bottom here and let go, you will see a menu load up. There it is, it's the VGauge menu. It's actually the same menu as on my OLED track, only edited for the VGauge. The boot animation is different. That's actually another animation that my friend in France made. So, but that's just a little too much on the eyes, so this will be for the VGauge. And as you can see, there are some codes on here. One of them is EEPROM reset, because some codes write data to the EEPROM, and if you don't reset this and another code is trying to use the EEPROM, they get all messed up. And that's the GeForce clock code. I'm babbling again. GPS clock, which is also here. There's a GPS logger application now that you can log data, tracking data on the micro SD card, which is on the bottom here. I can show you on the red one, it goes in here, the micro SD card. And that's the loader, that's the menu code, that's the voltmeter. I decided to use this voltmeter. I kind of like it better. This is just my police LED code with the 4 LEDs on here, which are actually for right and left turn signal, oil warning lamp, and high beam. And I do have there's a RTC chip. Should we say RTC? That's the GPS is setting that RTC, so you can have a code, the clock code loaded, and it's gonna be all set. This is actually a game, I will show you in a second. This is a tiny altimeter code. That's what toaster screensaver, that's the clock. It comes also in two parts. The first part sets the EEPROM, and the second part uploads the code again. And then you have the V gear, that's the gear indicator, because I'm gonna make this also for a bike, it will get an enclosure with a Lexan front. I'm not using acrylic because it's too brittle and it scratches very easily, plus it's thicker. The Lexan is like 0.5 millimeter thick, and you will get some spare, so as soon as it scratches you can just change it out. It will be two-part design screwed together, and it will be waterproof, of course. Let me show you how to load that code. For example, you just push in on the navigation button that I'm also using on my clocks and the GPS. So this is the startup animation. You can select any logo from your bike or whatever you want, or your name, whatever you wish. So if it's not neutral, it says select neutral, and as soon as you would select that, it will show an N. But I don't have that set up now on my breakout board, so I will go in the first gear, second, third, fifth and sixth. If you have different number of gears, you can of course get that adjusted. So now if you want to change code again, you push and hold, click the magic button on the bottom, which is nothing more than a reset button, and after a few seconds let go of the navigation button and it will upload the menu again, as you see here, and it will show you the codes on here. So those are the codes, as I said. Oh yes, I also have on the way CNC cut carbon fiber front. So for any race inspired guys that do not want the racing red, they can get the VGauge with a carbon fiber, a real carbon fiber front. It will be glossy on one side and matte on the other, so you can change it around because it's symmetric. You can turn it around as you wish. You can use it in glossy or matte depending on your taste. So those will be also an upgrade to the VGauge. And I also figured out, since the frame here is 3D printed, I will get some wood colored filament. So if you get the black, for example, you can get a wood colored filament and it would go maybe with your trim in your car. I will have two colors, one light, one darker, so you can choose that as well. I will also make the STL file for the frame available online, so you can just download it and print it in the color you want. But please keep in mind to use ABS, because PLA will most probably warp in your car due to the heat. So as you know, this also has a battery in it, so it runs without the excuse me, without the wire connection. This is practically the show-off code, show-off mode. And I also added the RPM code to show 000 when the engine is not running. I can just unplug my RPM generator, and then you see it's just 4 zeros instead of blank, because it didn't, if it would be a single display it would be okay if it goes blank, but on when everything else is on and this is blank, it just doesn't look good. This is my RPM simulator. It's practically my OLED scope with a different code on it. So if I plug this back in, just give me a second. There we go. So it starts up again. Anything else? I think this was it. I also want to thank Carsten in Denmark again. He's helping me out with some 3D designs, which I just don't have the time to do it, and I don't use Fusion 360, which he does, and that would be another learning curve for me, and I just don't have the time at the moment. I'm trying to put the VGauge now, actually it's finished. I will get a quote for the main PCB to have it assembled by PCBWay. So it will come, let me just take the dust off here. It will come practically this way from PCBWay, and then I just have to do the front and screw it together. It is attached by a flat flexible wire, the front and back, so it's easy to take apart. And what else? I think this was it. As you might know, this is it has a metal plate on the back and it just attaches to this magnetic mount. I have one in my car. I have actually several of them. So this is it. I'm looking forward to also to the design for the weatherproof case, because I will put this on my motorcycle too. So yes, I think this is it. If you do have any questions, please leave them in the comments or get in touch with me. I'm sure you know how. I will of course make the codes for all the codes on here available also with the purchase of the VGauge, and I'm sure they will increase in number. And this is it for now. Anyhow, thanks for watching and take care, YouTube.